Okay, hi everybody. Welcome back to English with Dr. Jim. As part of our numeracy conversation, part of the numeracy playlist, this is something that I find students find very difficult, depending on the culture you come from. So, for instance, Asian countries like China and Japan, where I lived for a long time, fractions are really tricky. So let me show you what that looks like. Um, in Canada, we say, and I wanted to note how we write it because we're writing on keyboards. It's 1/2, but it should actually be 1/2. That's what it looks like when you see it on in a math classroom or in a math textbook. So this equals this. Okay, so slash just means over. So think about that because I'm not able to do that on my keyboard. So in some Asian countries, it starts with 2. It starts with the bottom when we read it. So someone says 2 under 1. In Canada, it starts from the top. In English, it goes down 1/2. So we say 1/2. 1/2 is fine, but most people would say 1/2. So in Canada, in English, it goes down. In some countries, I know it goes up. In English, it goes down. So let's go through what we're looking at here. We're looking at on the fraction side. Oh, let me put that one back. There we go. 1/2. Okay. 1/3. And then please be careful. As soon as we get to 2, 3, 4, we need to add an S. 2/3. 2/3. 1/3. 2/3. 1/4. 3/4. 3/4. 1/5. If you say fifth, that's fine. If you say fifth, that's fine. It's really difficult to say fifth. So a lot of people just say fifth. 1/5. 2/5. 3/5. 4/5. 1/6. 5/6. That's very difficult. 5/6. 5/6. If you say 5/6, people probably understand. 5/6. 1/7, 2/7, 3/7, 4/7, 1/8, 3/8, 5/8, 7/8. This is pretty common. Seventh is not as common, but eighths are very common, especially if you're working in construction. 1/9, 2/9, 3/9, etc. 1/10, 7/10, 9/10, 3/10, 5/10 is half. And then when we get into whole numbers, it's 1.5, 2 3/4, 2 1/4, 3 5/8, 3 1/10, 3 1/7, 3 5/6, 5 2/5, 5 3/4. We put an and in the middle. Okay, so your question is, what does that look like if we're talking about decimals? So 1/2 just equals 0.5. And if we say it, we would say 0.5 or 0.5. So 1/3 is 0.33 is 0.3 or 0.3, 0.6, 0.66. And if we round up, we would say 0.67. So 2/3 equals 0.67. 1/4 is 0.25. 3/4 is 0.75. 1/5, 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, 0.8 is fine. 0.8 is fine. 1/6 is 0.166 or 0.167 if we round up. 5/6 is 0.833 or 0.833. 1/7, 0.142, actually 0.143, it rounds up. And then 1/8, 0.125, 0.375, 0.625, 0.875, 1/9, 0.111, 0.222, 0.333. We usually do groups of 3 if they're repeating or more if a group repeats. That's another video for another time. 1.5, we would just say 1.5. 1.5 cups. 2 3/4 cups, 2.75 cups. If you're baking and you need something like flour or sugar, we would say 2 3/4 or 2.75. 1.5, 1.5. Okay, so how we say fractions and decimals can be really tricky, particularly with fractions. And I'll repeat what I talked about at the beginning. Some countries start with the bottom number and then say the top number. In English, it goes down. So 1/2 is 1/2. Okay, so there we are. 1/2 is 1/2. 1/3 is 1/3. Okay, so maybe that will help you with listening skills. And then when we have a whole number and we have a partial, so we would say 1.5, 2 3/4. Okay, so that's a very basic introduction to reading fractions and to reading decimals. Now, let's get started. In the next activity, I'm going to read out some numbers and some fractions, and you can listen and write them in your notebook. Good luck with that.